Everybody was asking me how I paint and color my images. So today I'm going to show you how I do it. This is just the way I do it. I'm not saying it's the right way. You might find a different way that you like better, but this works for me, okay? What I start with is, we're going to start with her new image by Dylusions, by Diane Reilly. And the Fancy 4 is the one we're going to be using. And today we're going to color her. And I chose her to show you the white, like how I did her face, okay? What I did is I then stamped using archival ink onto, this is the paper I use. I know they have a lot of papers, and I'm going to tell you why I use this one. I use this paper because it's 110 weight. It's like a little thicker, and what I do is once I stamp my images with my archivals ink, because we need archival, so it needs to be waterproof, because after all we are using her ink sprays. I then stamp several, and then I will run it through my printer, and I will save it like this. So when I want one, I put it in a folder. I just go and get one, and I will cut one out like I did here. I did those, okay? So anyways, you will then need your sprays. Today we're going to use Fresh Lime, Bubblegum Pink, Black Marble, and White Linen. And you will need odorless mineral spirits, a little container with a brand new sponge that you've cut up in there to absorb, your pencil sharpener, your stumps for your mineral spirits, your black ink pink, your white gel, your Markall, your colored pencils, and then you will need your water brushes for your ink sprays. And what you do is you will use one of these to go inside your spray, get a dropper full, pour it in there, and then get a dropper full of water and fill it up. Use bottled water because you will take you a long time to use this so that the water doesn't go bad inside. And so anyways, so we're gonna get started. I've already started here, and I started doing her skin, which I will just show you on this one right here beside there, so you have an idea of what we're doing as I go. But for time's sake, I went ahead and started that. I take this one, which is, this is the beige, and I'm using Crimson Color pencils, and I just color, and I'm not particular about staying in the lines or anything because I'm always cutting my image out, and to me, I don't want that pressure to stay inside the lines. It just doesn't work for me. It's too much stress. So after I add that one, I will then go to my skin color, which I use a peach. And then this time I'm going to come in, and you'll see I'm going in a different direction. And that's so that you don't get no pencil marks. Which when you use the mineral spirits, if you do get some, it will take most of them out. But just get in the habit of going the opposite way when you color. And that way you don't have to worry about it. Okay, and then we will continue on with our yellow orchid, I think it's called. And then I'll come in with that. And you notice I'm not going to the center, I'm staying on the outsides. That's so that it automatically gives its own highlight. Okay. And then I will take the brown, dark umber, and use very little. It goes a long way. You just want to barely tap that on there, because if not, when you go to use the mineral spirits, it will come a big brown milky mess. It just will be, you will be upset, especially if you've already colored everything else. I would just recommend you playing with it before you do an actual one. Okay, now I'm going to take my stump and dip it into the mineral spirits. And I'm going to start from the inside of my things. And I'll go just skip around and do all the insides like that. Then I'll just come back and I'll start working in the brown from the outside in. Okay, and if you look at it and you think it just needs a little bit more, just go back, add a little bit more, but just keep in mind, don't, because you might think, oh, it needs a little bit more, but then when as you're going, you'll see maybe if you put too much, you added too much. You can't take away, but you can add. Okay, so we're going back. Okay, I think she looks good. All right, and now we're going to do her face, which we'll use the white linen, and we'll come in and we'll color where it's white with the white linen. Uh-oh, got a little squeezed it too hard. And don't worry if you squeeze too hard, just come up, bring it up, and wipe off the excess. Okay, and you see how bright and white that makes it? You give that a while to dry. While that's drying, we'll go ahead and go down here to where we have the cherries, and we're using the bubblegum pink. Then you just can cover right over those cherries because they're black. Now, if they weren't black, go around them. Okay. And you notice how this is lighter down here? The good thing about Dylusions is it can make its own shading. And that's what I love about these inks. It's like having a paint bottle in a paint bottle for me. As you see, I'm just going back and darkening her lines. And the more you go back and do, the darker it lays in there. Okay. And up here, I want to just bring it down a little bit more. And then now, I want to bring this up. Okay. All right, now we're going to wait for that to dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to come over here and do her little paws. You see how bright that is? How fast that brightens it? Okay. So now, since that's dry, we're going to take our light gray, as you see I had already done on this side. And we're just going to come in here and we're going to start working the light gray around the black places where we want to add some more highlight to it. Basically, we're framing out her face, her features. Since I got that one really wet, I'm just going to hit it with a dryer real quick, the heat gun. Because I noticed as I was coloring it, the pencil wanted to grab the paper. Okay. So if you get too much and you notice that it's grabbing, see how it's coming on there more darker? Just heat set it for a second and it'll dry real quick. These dry real good. Okay, now that I've done that, now I'm going to come in here and now I'm going to come back, and this time I'm not going to go as far out as the gray that I just put in there. And treat the gray just like you treat the dark umber. A little goes a long ways. Okay, so now we're going to take our stump again. And this time we're going to make sure we clean it off. Well, actually, I'll just flip it. No, I don't have to worry about it being clean. You want to make sure you clean them or use different ones, alligate for different colors. I have them wrote down for different colors, but for time's sake, I'm not going to keep grabbing at mine. Okay, so this time I'm going to start from the outside. We're doing the opposite this time, and we're working inwards. And that's so that I get the detail that I want. And go in a circular motion. Kind of softens it. And if you have a place where you don't like it, it's too dark, just dab it into the solution and just rub upwards and it'll take it back off. Now I'm going to oh no, I grabbed a green one. Great. No big deal. Clean it off. And if you do a mistake like I just did, I grabbed the stump with the green. Come back over it with your white Princeton pencil.